You think Democrats are just going to sit around and run out the clock? You think Trump is going to cave and say, okay, let's give billions to illegal aliens so they can get sex changes? You know, illegal aliens can actually get government-funded sex changes in California. That's what this is about.
Jesse makes some excellent points in there, but let me boil it down to this. And I think Jesse hit on it. Isn't this entire budget conflict a direct result of the border fiasco?
I say nay, no mas. Not correct. The border crisis, which was a real crisis that I acknowledged here on the television, did not make the GOP go for all the provisions in the reconciliation bill and give massive amounts of tax cuts to billionaires and take away Medicaid coverage from the poorest Americans. They did that themselves, irrespective of whatever happened at the border.
Medicaid
yeah, they did do that.
To who?
Actually, yes, and to cite it again, just listen to Josh Hawley talk about it if you don't believe me.
I also don't like what is basically a hidden tax on working poor people who are trying to get health care. I mean, this whole idea of we're going to charge them now additional copays in order to access health care. I have to say that just sounds like a tax to me. So now we're taxing poor people when they're trying to get access to health care?
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here. And what they did to Jessica Tarlov on Fox News isn't just about her. It's about every single one of us that they're trying to silence. Tarlov is the face of what it feels like to be a critical thinker in America today.
Jesse said they're doing this because they want to give illegals health care. That is not true. It is prohibited. 2 points that are important.
Where
is
it prohibited in New York,
in
California?
Federal statute.
But it's
states are allowed to do whatever they
want.
want.
Where do they get the
money?
No,
they get the money from the feds,
okay,
Jessica.
Right.
This is musical chairs.
Then let's talk about the provision that they're trying to strike down from the big, beautiful bill, which eliminated Medicaid coverage. They're trying to get this reinstated for groups that are here lawfully, including refugees, survivors of domestic violence, and trafficking victims. That's what the GOP, if you're seeing their tweets flying around,
if
Jesse,
you show up in the border and say you were trafficked, you got in and you got free health care.
You don't have,
yes.
They have protected status. That's what they're trying to reverse.
The second you challenge their pre-scripted evil narrative, you raise alarms. You get marked, you get labeled and targeted, treated like the enemy within. And then Jesse Waters dropped the line that tells you everything that you need to know about this circus. He smirked across the table and said, you think Trump is going to cave and say, okay, let's give billions to illegal aliens. Seriously, a talking point cooked up in Trump's White House, microwaved by Fox News and spoon-fed to millions of viewers as if it were fact. It's not journalism, it's not debate, it's propaganda. And it's designed to pit Americans against each other while the real damage happens quietly in the background.
The ACA tax credits are the crux of all of this. And 21 million of the 24 people that benefit from those subsidies are in Trump states. So he should want to keep them happy.
Here's the truth that they don't want you to hear. Unauthorized immigrants have been barred from federally funded health care since 1996, period. What Democrats were fighting for wasn't billions to illegals. It was extending Affordable Care Act subsidies that keep health insurance affordable for millions of working Americans. It was reversing Trump's Medicaid cuts that would leave even more families uninsured. That's what was on the line. That's what Jessica Tarlov was defending, and that's why they all swarmed her. And it wasn't just the five. Hours before the shutdown, Bret Baier tried the same sleight of hand on Special Report. He painted the continuing resolution as a simple, clean bill to keep the government open. Tarlov corrected him. It wasn't clean. It had poison pills baked in, cuts to health care subsidies tucked inside.
This is kind of simple. You know, this is a plain
but it's not because it
continuing resolution.
But it's a clean resolution inclusive of these cuts. And there are smart Republicans like a Josh Hawley, even Senator Thune has said that he's been concerned about this. When you look at what's going to happen with 114% hikes on these ACA premiums, that affects Democrats just as much as Republicans. And there are a lot of Republicans on Obamacare. Mike Johnson and J.D. Vance.
Until the end of the year. So you fund the government.
Enough
and
with
then
this.
And then you argue
who's
the point.
to say that they're going to sit down and negotiate with us afterwards?
She warned Republicans Republicans would take the blame because Republican voters use the subsidies too. And you know what? She was right. Poll after poll shows more Americans blame Trump and Republicans for this shutdown than they ever do Democrats. But facts don't matter in their twilight zone. What matters is keeping the lie alive. And that's why Trump's administration took it even further. Federal agencies, the Department of Justice, Housing and Urban Development, even the White House itself posted partisan blame messages. Not neutral shutdown notices, but straight up political propaganda. They even played a video of Hakeem Jeffries in a sombrero at the White House podium. That's not just offensive. It's authoritarian. It's turning government itself into a megaphone for lies. And while they spread memes and mockery, federal workers were warned of mass layoffs. Families braced for missed paychecks. Government services ground to a halt. That's the real consequences of their games. Ordinary people suffering while Jesse Waters sneers at TV and Trump's team plays pretend strongman. This is bigger than one Fox News showdown. This is the blueprint of authoritarianism. Lie, distract, scapegoat, punish the truth tellers, and protect the elites at all costs. And when you step back and really look at it, you realize what we're living through now was already contained in the music we listened to back in the day. The world is full of kings and queens who blind your eyes and steal your dreams. It's heaven and hell. That's exactly what's going on here. They blind people with propaganda. They steal futures with shutdowns. They gaslight us until up feels like down and truth feels like fiction. This isn't the country I grew up in. Why are so many people pushing this agenda? Why are worms like Jesse Waters allowed to sit in a studio spewing poison designed to inflame anger, division, and mistrust in our own government? Why do we keep pretending that this is normal? Meanwhile, look at the choices other nations make. Mexico chooses a leader with a degree in physics and a PhD in energy engineering. Canada chooses a leader with a PhD in economics from Oxford. They're picking people who are willing, smart, and educated. And us? We're left with a carnival-barking senior citizen with bankruptcies, felony indictments, and a trail of wreckage behind him. A culture that rewards bark over brains. Here's the thing. We don't have to live like this. We can stop rewarding the carnival barkers. We can choose competence over chaos, truth over lies, light over shadow. Our existence is our resistance. Our courage is the antidote to their poison. And our voices together are stronger than their noise. That's how we drag this country back out of the darkness they're selling and towards the light where it was always meant to be. And that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way. What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and thank you so much for watching. If you're into what we're doing here, hit that like button because it really helps. And if you want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe to Rebel HQ and ring that bell so you never miss an upload. I've also got a playlist with all my videos, so feel free to dive in and catch up. And if you're over the corporate spin and want real people-powered news, hit that join button and be part of the movement. We could not do this without your support. Seriously, thank you. Stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll see you in the next one. And that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.